How much money did I earn in 2025? Coming up. Hello and welcome to the Freelanceverse. Thanks so much for coming back to the channel in a new year. This feels so weird, it has been so long. First of all, I want to apologize for the lack of uploads in December. Short answer, I got very sick for several weeks and it was really hard to recover from it. I don't know what it was, some kind of virus. Making videos was very low on my priority list. I just tried to get through the end of the year, finishing work, traveling as well to family. And then finally by Christmas, I was able to recover. But then the season was over, or not the season, but the half season was over. It was time for a break. So I decided, you know what? Instead of forcing the yearly roundup that I do now for the 6th time this year, I'm just going to do it first time coming back to the channel in 2026. Happy New Year. I hope you had a nice holiday, Christmas time, if you're celebrating, of course. I definitely did once I was able to recover. So it's time for the yearly roundup. How did I do in 2025? As always with these videos, I'm going to show you graphs here. Where should I show it? I'm going to show it here on this side. That will show you compared to last year how I did in terms of revenue. It's a bit special this year. I'm going to explain it in a second. How much time I worked, with how many clients I worked, how my revenue developed over the year, etc. And in the second half of the video, I'm going to show you the analytics of the YouTube channel, how that did in 2025, just to give you a nice overview of how the year went. As always, I'm not going to show actual numbers in public. That has nothing to do with, being secretive or non-transparent about my numbers. If you would like to discuss actual numbers, please feel free to reach out to me directly on LinkedIn or via email. I just prefer not to publicize it on YouTube for everyone to see, but I'm definitely willing to talk to you about it because I do feel it's important for people starting out to kind of have an estimation of what people can earn. So let's get straight into it with the revenue. So as you can see, it's a bit special this year. It's very low compared to last year. This has to do with the fact, this will be an overarching thing this year. I worked much less. So I took more than 2 months off consecutively, and then also, my usual holidays. So in April, May, and June, I barely worked. Well, June a bit more. June, I only took off the first week, but April and May, I was almost completely off. So that's why my revenue is down 45% compared to last year. That looks very drastic, but of course, I know why it happened. So it's less irritating than it would be if I worked a full year. I expected this going into 2025. I knew that I would work much less. So I wanted to make sure that I earn more than half of what I earned last year. And I managed to do that, just 55%. It could have been more now looking back in terms of how much I worked, but so what I did, I thought I'd create also a revenue adjusted graph, which would kind of eliminate the months that I haven't worked. So it would simulate how much I would earn in a normal year. Of course, there is a lot of caveats with this statistics. Of course, it's never, there are so many other factors. So it would never just be this number, what I came up with. But I thought it's the best way to show you kind of how the year went. So revenue adjusted here would be 15% less than last year. So this would be the number if I had worked normal hours this year. So it's still considerably less, right? 15% is still less, which has to do with several factors. I also worked less hours during the days that I worked. So it's not only the days and the months that I worked less, but also the actual hours. There was, of course, a period of coming back after a 2-month leave. It took a while to get back into it. Of course, I informed all my clients before I left and when I came back that I'm back. But then, they made other arrangements in the 2 months. So it takes a while to get back into it. You need to find new clients again. So it makes sense that also the adjusted is down. I would have not expected it to be down 15%. So I will need to make sure I switch a few things up in 2026. Which I already have in my first week back. So I tell you more about that later in my goals. But yeah, it's nice to see that it was at least not too bad of a year. I knew that this year would not be a big revenue year. I had my focus on very different things this year. So it's nice to see that I can still make a decent living. It's not that Something went very wrong this year, so this is good to see. Now let's look at the days off. Obviously, hopefully they are much higher than last year, otherwise all the other statistics would not make sense. So as you can see, I took a total of 87 days off, which is by far the most days off I'd ever took in a year. If you divide that by 5, what is that? I'm not sure, I'm not so good at math, but that's like 17, 18 work weeks that I took off this year, which is a lot. That's several months just off of the year. Last year it was 48, which is already, I already took quite a lot of time off, usually around 50 days a year, which is more than an employed person would get usually, right? Unless you're a teacher or something. But of course, 87 is not sustainable. That's not what I want to do every year, but it was nice. It was a nice switch this year to focus a bit on other things than work. But this combined with the revenue loss makes more sense, right? Give you kind of an indication how the year went. January was my best month earlier in 2025. So that's cool. Actually, it was a really good month, and it made me calmer because I knew already that April, May I will not work, and April, May, June. So I kicking off the year with a great month. With in hindsight, the best month of the year was giving me a lot of calmness because I could kind of shift that money to April, May, and obviously what I earn in January comes into my account in March usually, right? So it's not that the money I earn in January I have immediately because I have to invoice it, clients have to pay it. So it was nice that in January, February, I could earn considerable money that would then come in the months that I'm not working. April, I still worked a little bit. It was my least profitable month because I worked only maybe a week or something. May I was completely off, and June I was off for like 10 days. So a total of a bit over 2 months I took off. Then, as you can see, it took a while. Actually, it didn't. July was good. So what I said before that it took a while to get back into it, not really. I came back and July was already the second highest earning month. Then August was about similar. That's really negligible, this difference. When in September I decided to switch to 4 days a week. So I decided to take Thursdays off. And as you can see, September was actually considerably very high for working 4 days less a month. And that's when I thought, okay, that's really cool. Actually, I can work 1 day less and make almost the same amount of money. But then October and November, it did go down. That's probably then due to the 1 day less a week. November I also had holidays taking into account, and then December anyways. December I usually work only half the month and the rest I take off. Plus I told you I was feeling horrible in the last week that I was still supposed to work. I managed to do like 2-3 hours a day. So it's not surprising that that's the second worst month of the year. There you go. That's what happened on the business side, on the language business side. I worked with a total of 11 clients in 2025. That's 2 clients less than last year, than 2024. But it's also new clients, which is really exciting. And some very exciting news is also that now in January 2026, I already work with a completely new client for the first time ever. And it's a really exciting project. I'm fully involved in it. It takes up a lot of time. I'm working on a book, actually. My first fully credited book. I will be the translator on the cover page. So that has never happened either. I was the reviewer previously in books who usually don't get credited, or I was working in a collective. So the collective name got credited, but not me individually. So this is the first time that I will be the credited translator, which is really exciting, and I'm so happy to be working on it. It's in the sports area, so it's my expertise, and it takes up maybe 70% of my work in January, which is very weird to me because usually my deadlines are like 2-3 days, right? I rarely have deadlines of a month ahead. And this is a complete book in a month, which is very tight. So I'm literally working every day on it, sometimes even on the weekend. But it's nice when you're very excited and when it's a fun way to work. All right, before rambling too much, let's look at the YouTube side. I'm gonna bring my laptop in here now. There you go. This is my YouTube studio page. I just reached 38,000 subscribers apparently, probably yesterday, which is really cool. Because I just looked at the video from last year and it was on 34. So that means 4,000 people found the channel in 2025 and clicked subscribe, which is amazing numbers. It's not what it used to be back in the day, but now it's much harder to still attract there's only so many freelance translators you can attract on YouTube, and to still find every year 4,000 people, that's really cool. So let's look at the numbers. Let's go to the analytics of this year. I think I can switch to 2025 in a second. I'm connected to the extender, so I will actually have internet in the office. Let me put to 2025 and I can see that it was not 4,000, but a total of 3.3 thousand people found the channel, clicked subscribe. That's amazing. 250,000 views in a year. So still like 250,000 views in a year. That the channel has, not done too well. Like if you look at the statistic, 30% less than the year before, but that's still like 250,000 views. That, if you ask me, like 10 years ago, because this channel is now 6 years old, that this is still going like that. And in the last 2 days, 700 people have watched the video. So it was never about the numbers, but it's really nice to see that it's still interesting to people. And 1,000 euro, close to 1,000 euro revenue was generated this year. There was one very good day of, what have I seen now? 22 euros, 22 euros. 22 euros on January 18th last year. I don't know what happened then, but that's cool. And on the other days, it's usually around, what is that, 2, 3, 4, 5 euro a day. Obviously, that's not a big dent, but overall, over the years, it's 1,000 euros. And if I look, since I created that channel in 2020, I made over 8,000 euros with it, which is really cool. I mean, obviously, if you count it down to the month, it's not a lot, but still, it's for a marketing channel that is not supposed to generate money, but just put my name out there. This is cool, and this is without the sponsorship, so that's actually the smaller part of the money generated. 1.8 million views in total. That's crazy. So that means in 2026 I will probably reach 2 million views if the trend continues with the 250k a year. 130,000 hours watched and 38,000 subscribers. Really happy with that. Let's go back to 2025 and see which videos did well. I thought that it would still be the how to find translation shops in 2024 video. I made this in January 24 and it still generated the most views in 25, almost 17,000 views. It's quite incredible. If you look at even the Trado Studio, wow. That I didn't expect. How to translate in STL Trado Studio created 13,000 views last year. This is a video from 22. So sometimes it's really weird which videos take off. If I go into the analytics of this video, that probably took off last year. That should show in the graph. Although it's quite steady, it has been growing quite steadily, but then here it went up. Not really. Just 60 people watched it in the last 24 hours. So it created 250 euros just this video alone. That's a slow burner. I didn't expect that. This one I expected it would go well, but probably the graph looks very different. It was very popular in the beginning and now it kind of flattens out, but actually generated the same amount of money. So, okay, the Trado Studio is a slow burner. That's cool. Good to know. The translation theories explained for some reason is really popular and it just picked up a lot last year, as you can see. Doesn't generate a lot of money, but people are really interested and all the comments are saying, oh, you explained this way better than my teacher or my professor at uni. That's not a good sign, because I can't explain it very well. But anyways, it's a nice it's a nice feedback, definitely. Let's look at the audience. Let's look at the top geographies. That's always more or less the same. It's again United States, India, UK, Germany, and Brazil. It's almost always these five. And then we have Egypt and Pakistan just below. Interesting. Most people are watching the videos around 6 p.m. after work. That makes sense. That's why I upload here on Monday, 6 p.m. That's when most people are watching. And the split between computer and mobile watches are more or less the same. It's mostly male, 56% male watching, 43% female, so it's quite a nice split. I actually like that a lot. And as always, the main group is 25 to 34 years old, which I'm not part anymore of. I'm now 35, so am I? Yeah, I think so, yes. I'm 35, so I'm in the older group, but I hope I can still represent the 25 to 34 years old. I'm far past the 18 to 24, but I'm happy you're still watching. I hope I can still empathize with you guys' struggle. Let me know if there's things that I can't really grasp anymore that you want to know more about. I would love to make more videos for the younger viewers as well. There you go, that's it with the yearly roundup. I hope you enjoyed it. I just made the plan for the 2026 first part of the first quarter, let's say, content. It's going to be very interesting. The last half a year, I told you, was focused on expert interviews. For example, the Knowledge November interviews. I made a bunch of series where I interviewed experts. It's going to be a bit less of that this year. I want to make shorter videos, at least in the beginning, focused on more real life, topics, like what is actually bothering the people watching. So I went through my comments, I made a plan of what to record. And of course, there's always Q&As, there's always specialized episodes, day in the lives. A lot is coming. I hope you enjoy. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And yeah, have a profitable 2026. Excited that you're here with me. Take care. Bye-bye.